Is the RipSurf overhyped, or is it actually something you could use to improve your surf technique? That's what I'll be going over in this video. When I first came across this board, I was like, damn, that looks so sick. Especially since I was a big fan of the RipStik when I was younger, and I've been surfing for over 14 years now. A few months back, I ended up buying it, and I've been riding it with a few of my friends. I'm gonna briefly go over who I think it's best for, and then I'm gonna go in depth on what I like and dislike. All right, the RipSurf is best for anyone that wants something that feels completely different than anything you've ever ridden. I mean, unless you've ridden a RipStik before, then it's somewhat similar to that. However, this is definitely not something to get if you want to improve your surfing. Maybe it'll help with your balance, but it's not going to help with your technique. If you want something you can use as a surf trainer, then I'd recommend looking into a Waterborne adapter, a Yow, or a Smoothstar. Really, the only thing that mimics surfing on the RipSurf is the look of it. I mean, maybe if you've never tried a surf skate before, then pumping on the RipSurf might feel somewhat similar. I remember the first time I got this and hopped on it, I thought it felt exactly like pumping on a surfboard, but after I got all my other surf skates, I'm like, damn, I was so wrong. Realistically, it's just not good as a surf trainer, but I wouldn't completely write it off. I mean, personally, I don't regret buying this, and I'm pretty stoked as part of my quiver. I think it's a blast to ride once you get past the learning curve. I'll use my RipSurf when I want something that has a completely different feeling than all my other boards. The deck shape is my favorite part. I love how it actually looks like a surfboard, but from a functionality standpoint, it's just too short. I'll often find myself putting my front foot too far forward and I'll completely nosedive. So unless you're gonna get this for a younger kid, then you can't get a proper stance that mimics your surfing stance. It just kind of feels too narrow and a little awkward. The width is pretty solid, so if they ended up releasing in the future a longer board, then I think that would be perfect. Another thing about the deck is that it's made of cheap plastic, and maybe that's the only way it can be built so that it bends, but I'm not a huge fan of the material, especially since when it hits the pavement, it scuffs easily. And if you look at the bottom, it just doesn't look visually appealing at all. The bumps on the top of the deck are a pretty cool feature that I do find adds some extra grip. Although if you do ride barefoot on it for a while, it does get a little irritating, but it's nothing crazy. Then there's the traction pad, which I love. It seems like it's made of the same material that real traction pads are made of. Not only does it help with grip, but it makes it look more like an actual surfboard, which is a plus in my book. The bearings are ABEC 5s, which I haven't seen in a while. Usually brands will end up using ABEC 7s. When I took the wheels off the board and spun them, they almost immediately stopped. But riding it, I don't really notice that much of a difference, especially since this isn't a board to bomb hills with, unless you're crazy, and in that case, like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Overall, the bearings, they could be better, but they get the job done. Now, the wheels are something I think they could really improve on. I've been riding this for over 2 months now, maybe like once a week-ish, and the back wheel is already very worn down. It's made of urethane, but it doesn't seem durable at all. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't want to ride this thing on rough pavement because the wheels are so thin. I've had plenty of instances where I hit a stick or a pebble and immediately fell. The overall aesthetic of this board is so sick, but I do think there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to durability. Get it if you want something different to ride here and there, but don't get it if you think it's gonna help with your surfing technique. It's a cool spin-off of the RipStik, so I gotta give props for the innovation. If you do end up deciding to buy it, I'm gonna link it in the description below. If you buy it through my Amazon link, I will receive a small commission, but it's at no additional cost to you. I'd really appreciate it since it helps me to buy new boards, test them out, and ultimately help you. Drop a like and subscribe if you found this video helpful at all. Helps my channel out a ton. And if you're still confused about anything at all, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. All right, I'll see you in another video later.